Deep within the rugged mountain ranges and whispering forests of Japan, a legend has taken root for centuries. An enigmatic figure both feared and revered, the Tengu. These mysterious mountain spirits have bird-like features that blur the line between human and avian, often described with red faces, long noses, and wings that carry them swiftly through the ancient trees. The Tengu are not merely creatures of whimsy. They exist in the stories and folklore as complex beings, sometimes protectors of the forests and mountains, yet at other times mischievous tricksters who play cruel pranks on unsuspecting travelers and villagers. In the remote mountain villages scattered across Japan's jagged landscapes, the Tengu are woven tightly into the cultural fabric. Their presence is whispered in the rustling of leaves and reflected in the patterns of the clouds. Locals speak of encounters shrouded in mystery, flash glimpses of a red-faced spirit atop a mountain pass, or the sudden flurry of wings before an unseen entity disappears into the mist. These stories might be folklore passed down through generations, or perhaps fragments of something more elusive. What is certain is the lasting impression the Tengu have left on Japan's collective imagination. The earliest tales of Tengu emerge from the Heian period, a time when Japan's mountains were wild and untamed, and travelers braved treacherous paths surrounded by dense, ancient forests. It is within these formidable natural settings that the legends seem to have found fertile ground. The Tengu were often depicted as both guardians of sacred mountain shrines and dangerous spirits that challenged those who dared to disrespect the natural order. This duality made them figures of awe and caution, entities whose favor could bring protection and whose wrath could bring misfortune. Intriguingly, the Tengu's appearance seems to embody this contradictory nature. Some folklore describes them with beak-like noses and feathered bodies, while others mention a more anthropomorphic shape with exaggerated human features, such as the famously long nose that has become a defining characteristic. This ambiguity enriches their allure and mystique, inviting endless speculation about their true essence. Are they yokai, supernatural demons of trickery, or ancient mountain gods disguised in bird form? The answer remains a tale told by many, with no clear resolution. Beyond their physical form, the Tengu's behavior adds another layer to the enigma. Known as skilled martial artists and masters of various esoteric arts, these spirits supposedly teach secret rituals and combat techniques to select humans, often reclusive mountain monks called yamabushi. According to local lore, such knowledge is bestowed only after tests of courage and respect for the mountain's sanctity. Whether these rituals ever truly existed, or are symbolic stories passed down to encourage reverence toward nature, remains an unresolved story, one that continues to fuel fascination among those who seek to uncover the Tengu's hidden secrets. As we stand on the threshold of exploring these secret rituals tied to the Tengu, it's important to remember that much of what is known, or rumored, is wrapped in layers of legend and mystery. Across Japan's mountainous regions, local legends tell of secret rituals connected to the Tengu, performed either by dedicated mountain ascetics or the villagers who revered these elusive spirits. While no solid evidence confirms these practices actually took place, the stories have endured for centuries, woven into the fabric of communal memory and cultural tradition. One widespread tale speaks of initiation rites conducted by yamabushi, the famous mountain monks. According to these folk tales, the monks would venture deep into forested wilderness, seeking the blessing and guidance of the Tengu. These rites were said to involve trials of endurance and spiritual purification, where the aspirants might fast, meditate under waterfalls, or practice martial techniques gifted by the Tengu themselves. The narratives often emphasize that only those possessing the right combination of courage, humility, and respect for the mountain's sacredness could complete such rituals. It's unclear whether these accounts describe actual ceremonies or metaphorical passages symbolizing internal transformation, but the stories persist in local oral histories and regional festivals to this day. In some mountain villages, annual celebrations still honor the Tengu through theatrical performances and symbolic offerings. Villagers reportedly present rice, sake, and handcrafted talismans to shrines believed to be inhabited by these spirits. These offerings are meant to secure the Tengu's protection for the coming year, ensuring bountiful harvests and safety from misfortune. Folklore suggests that during these festivals, some participants might perform masked dances mimicking the Tengu's swift movements or long-nosed visage, blurring the lines between human and spirit. While festival records confirm the existence of such events, the deeper spiritual practices underlying them remain elusive, often described in vague or symbolic terms. Another intriguing element of Tengu lore involves the use of secret talismans and amulets. Local legends claim that certain enchanted items, blessed by the Tengu themselves or their spiritual descendants, offer protection against evil spirits, disease, or bad luck. These objects, sometimes made from rare mountain herbs or carved wood, were secretive and closely guarded within particular communities. Tales of these talismans' powers circulate widely, but no conclusive documentation or archaeological evidence has ever surfaced. In the context of Japanese mysticism, such stories fit within a broader pattern of animistic belief, where natural elements and spirits intertwine with human existence. The Tengu's reputed influence extends to esoteric practices such as Shujendo, a mountain ascetic tradition blending Shinto and Buddhist beliefs. Here, practitioners undergo demanding physical and spiritual training to attain enlightenment, sometimes invoking the Tengu as guides or protectors. Yet, the exact nature of any Tengu-related rituals remains an open question, existing more as a mythic framework than a verifiable historical practice. These secret rites and offerings reflect a deep cultural respect for the mountain environment and its unseen powers. Whether fanciful or founded upon fragments of historical practice, the enduring presence of Tengu rituals in folklore highlights humanity's enduring fascination with the mysterious forces that dwell beyond ordinary sight. They invite us to imagine a hidden world where spirits and humans meet, negotiate, and transform, within shadows cast by ancient trees and the ever-shifting mountain mists. Today, the legends of the Tengu continue to shape regional identity across Japan in ways both subtle and profound. In many mountain communities, these mysterious beings are more than just stories. They serve as symbols of resilience, harmony, and the delicate balance between humanity and nature. Even as modern life encroaches upon remote villages, the Tengu's legacy endures, inspiring local artisans, storytellers, and spiritual practitioners alike. Artists have long been drawn to the Tengu's striking image, capturing their vivid red faces and enigmatic expressions in paintings, sculptures, and woodblock prints. These depictions, from ancient scrolls to contemporary designs, reflect a deep cultural fascination and invite viewers to ponder what lies beyond ordinary perception. In literature, Tengu tales have influenced countless works, from classical poetry to modern fantasy, each exploring the tension between the earthly and the supernatural. Writers often use the Tengu as metaphors for human fears, virtues, or the wild, untamed forces lurking just beyond civilization's borders. Meanwhile, the spiritual customs linked to Tengu folklore still resonate in practices that blend ritual and reverence. Some Shujendo practitioners, for example, consider the Tengu as protectors of the mountain's sacred energies, calling upon their presence during intense meditation or endurance trials. This blending of myth and personal spiritual journey underscores how folklore remains a living tradition, constantly evolving rather than fixed in time. Yet, despite their vivid presence in culture, the true nature of the Tengu's secret rituals remains shrouded in uncertainty. Historians, ethnologists, and folklorists continue to debate whether these tales stem from actual ceremonies, symbolic storytelling, or a mixture of both. The fine line between myth and reality blurs even further when considering the many variations of Tengu lore that exist from one region to another. This patchwork of beliefs and practices suggests a complex interplay of local history, environment, and imagination. It also reminds us that folklore is not simply about uncovering objective facts. It's about understanding how communities give meaning to their experiences and surroundings. The unresolved stories of the Tengu invite us to reflect on the power of myth itself. These enigmatic spirits embody the human desire to connect with forces beyond ourselves, to grapple with the unknown, to find guidance, and sometimes to fear what cannot be controlled. In this way, Tengu legends do more than entertain. They shape cultural identity, inspire artistic expression, and provide frameworks for spiritual exploration. Whether the secret rituals were ever truly performed or remain forever part of imaginative tradition, their influence is undeniable. In the spaces where mountain clouds gather and ancient trees whisper, the Tengu persist, not just as ghosts of the past, but as living elements of cultural consciousness. They challenge us to consider how myths endure through time, how they adapt to new generations, and how their mysteries continue to spark curiosity and reverence. Ultimately, the story of the Tengu remains an open invitation, an unresolved mystery that asks us to look beyond the visible and embrace the unknown. In doing so, we honor the very spirit of folklore and the enduring human quest to make sense of a world rich with hidden wonders.